Hey guys, welcome back to my layout for another update. Today is going to be our track plan update tour because thanks to some snow days and snow, we were able to get all the track and roadbed laid. We've had about 16 to 20 inches of snow in the last 3 to 4 days, so plenty of time inside to finish up. So starting with the tour, we're going to start right here at the Diamond. This is our Norfolk Southern Wabash line and Arbor Road main line layout. The Norfolk Southern line being the double track main line running east, west, and the Arbor Road running north and south. So back in this corner is the west end of the Wabash. On the left we have our spur to staging, which would be in the prototype a rip track technically, or a side track or back track, whatever you want to call it. It goes off to a two-track staging yard. On the right we have a little spur that would be the entrance to Milan Yard. But for our case, we're going to spot tank cars there because there's a business in Milan, Michigan that takes tank cars on the west end of Milan Yard. But obviously, thanks to space constraints, we have scrunched it up right there. Right here we have our double track diamond. Those are Code 83 diamonds mixed in with Code 100 track. Like the way the Code 83 diamonds looked a lot better than the Code 100 diamonds that were available for me to purchase. So I picked up 2 of those and used some rail joiners to transition from Code 100 to Code 83. Works really well, rolls well. Obviously the Ann Arbor Road goes into Oblivion, heading north, then heading south here into their yard, which we'll get to later. Moving along east on the Wabash line, we come along to the Runner Y switch. This is the track that accesses the Ann Arbor Road from the Norfolk Southern main line. They call it the Y or the Runner at Milan, depending on who is the crew or whatever. But moving along is CP Milan, which is the crossover from the main track to the second track. This is actually farther apart in the prototype, but in lieu of space we scrunched it together and it works well. So you have CP Milan here and Milan Diamond down there. Moving along, just got a little train out. That's a High Hood SD40-2 and 2 shorty tank cars picked up at a show in Novi this weekend that was otherwise a disappointment. The SD40-2 is just something my brother's been working on finish. We didn't get that at the show. Coming along here, still double track. We get to our lift bridge, which is I've done a video on, but the gist of it is there's a hinge there within the locomotive shelf, and it folds up and makes a really good link there. I have to wire it still, but trying to roll over that really nicely. The one gap there is a little big because one of the rails has been adjusted. And over here it's got a little cradle that it can rest in, and once again another really good fit over here. Nice and good to roll over. Moving along here is the far east end of Milan, which is CP Whitaker. This is where in the prototype the tracks go from 2 to 1. In the prototype this near track is actually a siding track, and this is the main track. We will be running just as a double track main. Most trains will have to take this to run continuously to get to the Ann Arbor or the staging track, but trains will still run on this and then cross over at CP Milan. On the single track area of the layout, this is where the Ann Arbor Road and Wabash line just kind of combine. It'll be farmland or whatever you want to call it. But eventually you get to this point, which is the south end of the Ann Arbor Road yard. The Ann Arbor Road yard is a 4-track yard in Milan that we had to scrunch together, but I was able to get one of the tracks to be decently long. This near track is a yard track. This is the main. Coming along into here, we have the other 4 tracks. We have south track and the second track, and this is the main, and then the north passing track or yard track or whatever you want to call it. In the prototype it is 4 tracks laid out in a similar manner. However, because it didn't have much space, we had to scrunch it together. So coming along here, we have our 4 tracks merge into 3, and then we have a double slip switch to access staging and go down to 2, and then of course back to single track. The main line follows this line. It follows in here over this switch, straight through the double slip switch, and then we have our 2 yard tracks, 3rd yard track. Staging's about 8 to 10 feet long, I think. I need to make some adjustments on the curved radius, but it's just the place to run trains and build them. We're going to put scenery view blocks in, so there's going to be like a neighborhood scene, and that'll take care of that. Just gives Wabash trains somewhere to run, and having staging on the layout will be very handy. Moving along the last section of the Arbor yard, we have the ladder to get in. Obviously, we have the switch to the 4th track down here, switch to the 3rd track up here. We have a crossover right here, which takes you from the main to the 2 yard tracks. A connector here, so you can access the Y track from the Ann Arbor Road yard. And a couple more switches here, so you can access either the yard or the main line from the Y. Most of the time, I think I've seen the local come off the main line, but sometimes when they come back light power, they'll just tie down, run straight into their spot, which is where that SD40-2 is. Anyway, guys, that's the whole tour. I do not have the layout wired yet. That'll be something for the next couple weekends. Hopefully, I'll be able to get a bunch of feeders in and it'll be wired nice, and the bridge. Anyway, guys, as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time right here in my layout.